Log exception with traceback in Python. How can I log my Python exceptions?
Use logging.exception from within the except column handler /log to log the current exception along with the trace information prepended with a message. Now looking at the log file, /tmp/logging_example.out.
Use *info options may be better, remains warning or error title. My job recently tasked me with logging all the traceback/exceptions from our application. I tried numerous techniques that others had posted online such as the one above but settled on a different approach. Overriding traceback.print_exception. I have a write-up at this URL that would be much easier to read but I'll paste it in here as well. When tasked with logging all the exceptions that our software might encounter in the wild, I tried a number of different techniques to log our Python exception tracebacks. At first I thought that the Python system exception hook, sys.acceptHook, would be the perfect place to insert the logging code. I was trying something similar too. This worked for the main thread, but I soon found that the mysys.acceptHook would not exist across any new threads my process started. This is a huge issue because most everything happens in threads in this project. After Googling and reading plenty of documentation, the most helpful information I found was from the Python issue tracker. The first post on the thread shows a working example of the sys.acceptHook not persisting across threads, as shown below. Apparently this is expected behavior. The messages on this Python issue thread really result in two suggested hacks. Either subclass thread and wrap the run method in our own try_except block in order to catch and log exceptions, or monkey patch threading.thread.run to run in your own try_except block and log the exceptions. The first method of subclassing thread seems to me to be less elegant in your code, as you would have to import and use your custom thread class everywhere you wanted to have a logging thread. This ended up being a hassle because I had to search our entire code base and replace all normal threads with this custom thread. However, it was clear as to what this thread was doing and would be easier for someone to diagnose and debug if something went wrong with the custom logging code. A custom logging thread might look like this. The second method of monkey patching threading.thread.run is nice because I could just run it once right after _main_ and instrument my logging code in all exceptions. Monkey patching can be annoying to debug though, as it changes the expected functionality of something. The suggested patch from the Python issue tracker was It was not until I started testing my exception logging I realized that I was going about it all wrong. To test, I had placed a somewhere in my code. However, wrapping a method that called this method was a try except block that printed out the traceback and swallowed the exception. This was very frustrating because I saw the traceback bring printed to stout but not being logged. It was I then decided that a much easier method of logging the tracebacks was just to monkey patch the method that all Python code uses to print the tracebacks themselves, traceback.print_exception. I ended up with something similar to the following. This code writes the traceback to a string buffer and logs it to logging error. I have a custom logging handler set up, the custom logger which takes the error level logs and send them home for analysis.
You can log all uncaught exceptions on the main thread by assigning a handler to sys.acceptHook, perhaps using the exc_info parameter of Python's logging functions. If your program uses threads, however, then note that threads created using threading.thread will not trigger sys.acceptHook when an uncaught exception occurs inside them, as noted in issue 1230540 on Python's issue tracker. Some hacks have been suggested there to work around this limitation, like monkey patching thread._init_ to overwrite self.run with an alternative run method that wraps the original in a try block and calls sys.acceptHook from inside the accept block. Alternatively, you could just manually wrap the entry point for each of your threads and try/accept yourself.
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.